I think one of the greatest myths out there is that when you're young, you should take a lot of risk. Let me say that one more time because it's super important, so make sure it sits. Everyone says when you're young, you should take risk. The problem with that advice is that today, people in their 20s and their 30s are taking a lot of risk. They're not just putting money in index funds. They're putting money in meme coins. They're putting money in meme stocks. They're putting money in NFTs. They're on social media and TikTok, watching people day trade. They're trying to get into options. What they're really trying to do is get rich quick. All I can tell you is the older guy in the room here, people who try to get rich quick stay broke forever. And the problem with taking too much risk with your money when you're young is if you do everything right, like let's just say you shut off all your subscriptions and you're saving $200 a month, but you put that $200 a month into a junk investment and you turn around in 10 years and you have nothing to show for it, you'll stop investing.
Most people today are one missed paycheck away from a real crisis. And the terrifying part? They have absolutely no idea. Credit card debt is quietly eating people alive, while monthly subscriptions drain bank accounts. People try to fix their finances but end up in a cycle of saving and spending. David Bach has spent over 30 years helping ordinary people understand how money actually works. And what he says is the problem isn't your income, it's the broken system you're stuck inside. Almost everyone is doing it wrong, and the longer you wait to fix it, the deeper the hole gets. Here's what he says needs to change right now.
Debt is like quicksand. You talked earlier about how you were in debt and what that felt like. When I came out of college and I had $12,000 in credit card debt, it felt like the greatest weight on my shoulders. Like I was carrying like a 50-pound backpack. And how did I get out of debt and how do you get out of debt? I will give you the very simple formula to getting out of debt. DOLP. DOLP stands for done on last payment. If you said to me, David, I've got 5 credit cards, I'd say, okay, Stephen, take out a piece of paper just like this, and I'd start listing your credit cards. I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'd list them all. Visa, MasterCard, and I'd list them. And then I want to know, how much do you owe? So I put the dollar amount down. And what I would do is I put the dollar amount down on paper, and I'd list it small to large.
Debt can feel like quicksand. Without a clear plan, every step can pull you deeper. David Bach recommends a system called DOLP, meaning done on last payment. Start by listing all your debts from smallest to largest and set up automatic minimum payments so nothing is late. Then direct every extra dollar toward the smallest debt until it's completely paid off. Once it's gone, move to the next one. He also suggests calling your credit card company to request a lower interest rate or ask about hardship programs that may freeze interest while you pay it down.
Then I want to know the interest rate. Now, what people say is, oh, you should take the highest interest rate and pay it off first. But I wouldn't tell you that, Stephen. I'd tell you, you take the smallest credit card. I don't care what the interest rate is.
The smallest amount.
Smallest amount. So maybe this card right here is $500. And this card down here is $3,000. I'd have you make minimum payments on every card automatically. This is really important, the automatic part. Have you go on, I'd literally go into your house, I'd open up your iPad, and I'd have you make minimum payments online automatically so that every card's paid on time. Then I'd say, Stephen, how much extra money do you have? Because I want you to put it all towards the smallest card. We're gonna get that small card paid off as fast as possible. We're gonna add all the extra money to that small card. Minimum payments on everything. Once that card's paid off, we're gonna go like this. You don't have to close the account because we don't wanna lower your credit score, but we're gonna put that card over here and never use it. Now we're gonna go to the next smallest card. Some people call this the snowball approach. The reason I teach this system is it reduces the amount of credit cards you have as fast as possible. And you see yourself make progress. It's really important to see yourself make progress when you're doing anything financially. Then I would attack the interest rates because the interest rates aren't always permanent. You can negotiate your rates lower. You can move credit cards to another card with a low interest rate. Have to be very careful though when you do that because they're waiting for you to make a slip up and make a late payment. And when they do, they'll jack the credit card interest rates back up again.
Most people are told to attack the highest interest rate first. David Bach says don't. Pay off the smallest balance first, not the one with the highest interest. Eliminating an entire debt creates momentum, helping you keep moving forward. Once that smallest card is paid off, don't close the account. Closing it damages your credit score. Set it aside, never touch it again, and roll every payment straight to the next smallest balance. Keep the snowball moving forward.
You can also call up your credit card companies if you're really struggling and tell them, I'm struggling and I'd like to know if you have a program in place where I can stop the interest rate and pay these cards off in more accessible. This is basically what the nonprofit credit card counseling organizations do. But the credit card companies often have programs too for this. They'll tell you to stop using the card. They'll actually make it so you can't use the card anymore, but they'll stop the interest rate. That approach has helped so many people get out of credit card debt. Now, I just want to say something super important because I've gone through this. When you go through the work of getting out of credit card debt, it's a huge victory. Don't go out and celebrate on the credit cards. Because I got myself out of credit card debt in college, junior year, and then I went out and celebrated and got myself back into credit card debt. And people do this all the time. Usually people get themselves in a hole at least twice, sometimes 3 times. Don't go back in a hole again. I didn't carry credit cards for 30 years, only carried a debit card, and I had to pay it off every month.
Getting out of credit card debt is a massive win. But David Bach says this is exactly when people destroy all their progress. He did it himself. Paid everything off in college, felt incredible, went out and celebrated, on the credit card, back in the hole within weeks. He says most people fall into debt at least twice, some fall 3 times. Once you're finally out, protect that victory with your life.
It always comes down to a decision. And we started by talking about my grandmother. If my grandmother hadn't made a decision at 30 that she didn't want to be poor, that she was tired of living paycheck to paycheck, if she hadn't decided that she would go out and teach herself about money and take 50 cents of her paycheck and 50 cents from my grandfather's paycheck and start investing, I wouldn't be here today. She made a decision that had a ripple effect through our family. She built financial security for herself with that one decision. She taught my father how to invest, and he was a financial advisor for over 45 years. My sister's a financial advisor. I was a financial advisor. I spent the last 30 years teaching people about money. One woman's decision had this ripple effect. So one thing I say to people who are listening, especially the moms, sometimes you got to make a decision that's not just for you. You're actually making a decision for your family. And you can come up with a list of reasons why this stuff won't work. Somebody who's watching this show or listening to us right now, they're already interested in this. That's why they're here. Now, they're here for a couple reasons. Either A, they're hurting financially, and they know they need to fix something. Great. Start where you are. Fix what needs to be fixed. Some people are like, I think I'm doing pretty well, but I'm not sure if I'm doing everything well. I've opened up my Roth IRA or I've opened up my 401k plan. I'm putting some money away, but I don't know if I'm putting enough money away. Then you can improve what you're doing. Some people are like, I'm renting. I think I would like to buy a house someday. All right, make that a goal. I teach 3 buckets when it comes to money, 3 baskets. Pay yourself first for retirement. We haven't even talked about emergencies yet. Putting aside money for emergency purposes. Have to talk about that. You got to get more money put aside for emergency purposes, and then building a dream account. You need to put money away for your dreams. Those 3 accounts should be automated. I recommend 1 hour a day. Again, I said this earlier, it's 12.5% of your gross income. So whatever you make an hour,
Yeah.
If you're working a 40-hour work week, 12.5% of your gross income goes off the top into a retirement account. Now, let me just say something up for the yeah butters. They're like, I can't go from 0 to 12%. There's no way. Then start at 1%. If you're not saving right now and you're listening to us and all you do when you leave this podcast is make one decision, and that decision is, I'm going to save 1% of my income. And you start that this month, your life will change. Your life will change because you start the process of making a difference. It's just like the first day you go to the gym. Now, I will tell you, if you save 1% of your income, you won't notice it. And if you did that every month for a year, at the end of the year, you would have saved 12%, and you will be saving 4 times what the average American saves, and you will be in a rock star shape. Then the second hour, this is where people's minds blow up. But the second hour, so the first hour goes for the future, the second hour goes for safety and for dreams. So 30 minutes of your income, roughly 5%, should go into an emergency account. and another 5% goes into a dream account. Now, that dream account could be for buying a house, could be saving money for college, could be the vacation you want to take at the end of the year, it could be getting married, could be the engagement ring. But you're putting money away for your dreams, because when you put money away for your dreams, that's how they become real.
David Bach teaches 3 accounts. All 3 are automated. No exceptions. The first is your future account, retirement. He recommends 12.5% of your gross income, roughly 1 hour of your working day. Can't start at 12%? Start at 1% this month. Just start. Saving 1% consistently for a full year puts you saving 4 times more than the average person. The second is your emergency account, 5% set aside for life's surprises. The third is your dream account, another 5% for something you actually want. A house, a goal, a holiday. Because money attached to a dream is what makes that dream real.
Unless your financial plan is automatic, it will fail. How do I know this? Because I spent 9 years as a financial advisor at Morgan Stanley, and I got to see firsthand. Everyone who came into my office with an ordinary income, who built wealth, they did it by saving automatically. Every single time a client came into my office and they said, I'm going to bring you a check every month myself, I never had a client save for more than 6 months. They stopped. Once you make the decision to automate your financial life, it works in the background. Now, here's the thing. Everybody else is already doing this to you. You go to a gym to go work out. They don't ask you to bring them money every month. They automatically bill you. You get a phone bill. They automatically bill you. Today, in many cases, when you rent, they automatically pull the money out of your account. The banks automatically take money from you for your mortgage. When you pay taxes, they're all automated. Everyone takes money from you automatically. Everything that you sign up for on your phone is a subscription service. Netflix. Go through your credit card today. Open up your phone. Look at all your subscriptions. All those businesses are taking money from you automatically. Why? That's the only way they can be in business. They know if they don't get money from you automatically, you won't keep using them. Most people who start off with a free subscription, it'll take them 3 to 6 months to turn off something that they don't use. I'm here getting people to automate their financial life for themselves.
If your financial plan isn't automatic, it will fail. Bach emphasizes automation over relying on willpower. He watched it for 9 years as a financial advisor. He said every client who built real wealth on an ordinary income saved automatically without thinking about it. Every single one. And every client who said they did personally bring in a check each month, gone within 6 months. Meanwhile, Netflix, your gym, and your phone bill all pull money from you automatically every month without asking. Your savings need to work exactly the same way, because no financial plan that depends on willpower survives long enough to matter.
So if someone's listening to us, watching this, they're married, they've got kids, or they're single by themselves, this one exercise, my guess is there are many, many people listening that could find $50, $100, $200 a month that they could shut off and redirect that money to saving and investing. And that could change their life.
Open your phone right now. Go to settings, tap your name, then hit subscriptions. David Bach says cancel everything you don't actively use. And here's a trick most people don't know. The moment you sign up for any new service, cancel it immediately. When the trial period ends and they try to renew, they'll offer you a better deal to come back. All those forgotten subscriptions quietly running in the background. That could be $100, $200 a month sitting there doing nothing. Redirect every single dollar you recover straight into your savings. That alone, invested over 40 years, can be worth over $600,000.
Last year, global investments significantly outperformed the U.S. investments. And the U.S. investment market was up on average of 17%. So the U.S. markets were up 17% or higher, and global investments were up 30% or higher. Now, there will be a point in time, Stephen, without a shadow of a doubt, that we will see a market pullback. And when that day comes, you have to stay the course and keep investing automatically, monthly. And then I'm going to give you a tech fund, because everybody wants to know, what should I invest in that is, should I invest in an AI tech fund? And my answer would be is you don't need an AI tech fund. You need the best tech fund that's existed since my lifetime, and that's the NASDAQ 100 ETF. And the symbol for that is QQQ. So go and look up, go into whatever you're using and go look up QQQ, read about the top 100 stocks in the NASDAQ and the returns for QQQ. I mean, actually, on top of my mind right now, I think it's over 20%. But look up what has the QQQ total return been for the last 10 years. I can tell you since I put money in QQQ, it's gone up tenfold. Now, the market's been unbelievable and there will be pullbacks. And that is also why I should say this, Stephen, because we haven't even addressed this. I don't run around telling people to put all their money in the stock market. I also don't think that young people should be putting all their money in the stock market. I think one of the greatest myths out there is that when you're young, you should take a lot of risk. Let me say that one more time because it's super important, so make sure it sits. Everyone says when you're young, you should take risk. The problem with that advice is that today people in their 20s and their 30s are taking a lot of risk. They're not just putting money in index funds. They're putting money in meme coins. They're putting money in meme stocks. They're putting money in NFTs. They're on social media and TikTok watching people day trade. They're trying to get into options. What they're really trying to do is get rich quick. All I can tell you is the older guy in the room here, people who try to get rich quick stay broke forever. And the problem with taking too much risk with your money when you're young is if you do everything right, like let's just say you shut off all your subscriptions and you're saving $200 a month, but you put that $200 a month into a junk investment and you turn around in 10 years and you have nothing to show for it, you'll stop investing.
David Bach believes investing should stay simple and consistent. Instead of chasing trends or trying to pick winning stocks, he encourages people to invest broadly across the market. The idea is to own small pieces of many companies so you can benefit from long-term economic growth rather than short-term hype. He also emphasizes diversifying globally so your investments aren't tied to just one country, while still gaining exposure to some of the most innovative companies shaping the future. But he gives one strong warning. Many people say that when you're young, you should take big risks. Bach disagrees. Chasing meme coins, hype stocks, NFTs, or day trading isn't investing. It's gambling. People who chase quick money stay broke forever. Real wealth is built slowly through discipline, automation, and long-term thinking. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in our next video.